Okay, good morning. Here again with Denis for economics. I welcome you back in this session. Therefore, without utilizing any more time, let us go straight away to our business. And in this lesson, we shall first have a very small review, as always, with the most recent content that we had previously. Therefore, we shall look at goods. We shall look at goods, where we said that goods are tangible items that satisfy human desires. So in this line, therefore, we also went further to say that there are a number of goods, a number of types of goods, as we talked about them previously. Therefore, in that regard, can we try to highlight, to list down some of these goods, some of these categories of goods? Yes. Or if possible, you can as well try to panel beat about those goods as you mentioned them. All right, let us move on. We looked at which goods, for example. Which goods? Talk about it. Talk about it as we have just sat here. Please, can we? Yes, class. We talked about, okay, thank you. We talked about the types of goods. And we talked about economic goods. Good. Can you talk about it? Can you talk about this? All right, since we had it, let me hope that you have it in mind. We also talked about what? Yes, from this corner. Okay, perishable goods. Perishable goods. We had durable goods. Are we together? Are all of you there getting the content? Yes, I know not all of you can speak out at the same time. That's why we have to get one by one. Okay? We had economic goods, perishable goods, durable goods. What else? What else do we have? We had, yes, please. Okay, consumer goods. What else? We had capital goods. Okay? Behind there, place at the end. Okay, intermediate good. Intermediate good. Any other? Oh, they are over. Are they over? Are they over? Okay, since there are others, okay, may you mention them? You are saying what? Speak louder. Okay. We had inferior goods. What else? We had different goods. Are they over? Are they over? Okay. Okay. Now, can you try to highlight about these goods very fast? Very fast. Is it possible? Okay. But you are intending to be low. Don't be so slow, eh? Because time is money, as we say that fast. Time is what? Time is money. So you must be quick. All right, yes, please. Okay, you're saying that economic goods are goods which are scarce in nature and they have money value. Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay. Economic goods are goods which are scarce in nature and they have ability to satisfy human desires. I remember we talked about some kind of characteristics. What could they be? What could they be? Yes. They have money value. To have utility. Number three. Quickly. Okay. Relatively scarce. Relatively scarce. Are they over? Okay, because of time, let us move on to another one. Who can try to highlight for us about perishable goods? Yes, these are goods which cannot last for so long when they aren't consumed or when they aren't utilized. Fine? Yes, let me hope everyone is following us and we are all together. Okay? So perishable goods are goods which cannot last, which cannot take long when they aren't consumed. What examples do we have, for instance? Yes, tomatoes. This side. Avocado. Oh, I know you like them so much. Then behind. You also like jackfruits. Okay. That's fine. All right, then I want to talk about this. Durable goods. Yes, tell us. Okay, these are goods which can last for long when they haven't been demanded and consumed. We said like what? Like what? Yes. We have furniture. Hey, furniture can take 10 years. 10 years. Even plus. Buildings. Okay? Cars. Motorcycles. Like I have mine, which has so far taken 7 years. Can you imagine? And it is still very marvelous. Even when you see it, you cannot deny it is a capital good. Consumer goods. Consumer goods, what do we say they are? These are goods which are ready for consumption. Do you remember that? Ready for consumption. Like what? Food. We also say the what? Medicine. Hey, people, you are good. Medicine. The other one? Food, medicine, ready for consumption. they no longer need to go any further processing a stage. Then capital goods. Capital goods. These are, yes, tell us. I know you have the answer. Okay. Capital goods are goods which are demanded not for their own sake, but for the production of other goods. Like what? In other words, we are saying that you don't demand for them for their own direct consumption, but rather to be utilized to produce other products, right? Like what? And your father must be having this. Tractors. Then the other one? Graders. Generally machinery. Buildings. etc. and so on and so forth. Then intermediate goods. These are goods which are reused, which are semi-processed. Don't miss out that. Which are semi-processed and are reused in the production of other commodities. Example, we say the what? Example. That's it. Yes, Gloria. Sugar. We said sugar is used in which, where is it used? Among others, I know you may not describe all of them. In making what? Cakes, biscuits, yes, good. Sweets, I know you like them, and so forth. Then we also looked at inferior goods. What do we say they are? Inferior goods, what do we say they are? Yes, in the middle there. Yes. Louder, Okay. Inferior goods are goods whose demand reduces when one's or when the consumer's income increases. Whenever your income increases, then you desire a more better quality and expensive good, right? So that is called inferior good. For instance, we had what? Yeah, he's saying cassava. I know you don't like cassava. He's also saying the potatoes. Now, assuming these are the ones, what about those ones which replace? What could those ones be which replace these ones? Let us put them here. You can replace cassava with what? Rice. Cassava, potatoes with what? They're talking about macarons. And what? Cakes. Like what? Of course, here you must be having also beans. Some of you, most of you don't like them. Dry tea. Dry tea, the black tea, okay? Then from here, you are replacing with these ones with milk, with yogurt. I know what you like. Okay, lastly, we talked about different goods. What could these ones be? What could they be? Hey, the audience, class, be able to remember, be able to recall this. in your mind, such that it becomes part and parcel of you. Since we say that with this one here, there is no way you can dodge these economics. All these ones you have been buying them, you have been selling them, but when you don't know what they are called, am I deceiving? Am I deceiving? No. Okay. Different goods. These are goods which take a large proportion, of the low income earners' income, You get that? In other words, it is the good which takes a large proportion of the poor income earners, of the low income earners. You the youth, some of you the youth who are here, you don't earn because you are in school, but when you jump out of school, you take the whole month working for buying one item like this. It makes you suffer the whole month. You work and get a very expensive phone, and you start working when you are, you are handling something. When nothing has remained in the pocket, you have remained with zero income. But you have used it to purchase one item with which you think it is you without it, you are not existing. Okay? So, still, my boys, my men out here and out there tend to like buying these jeans of 60, 100,000. You take a long time suffering trying to earn that money, but when you earn it, you only buy 1-2 items, and when it comes to those big days of the year, I call them like that. I mean Christmas and Easter. And for the Muslims, they also have their Eids. So you tend to walk when the trouser is down here as if it is almost falling. Just trying to show that you have, as if when you put on normally, people will not realize that you are smart. You put papers behind the pockets as if you have money. When there is no money, you have exhausted all of it on a different good, trying to show off that you have wealth, you are wealthy. Please, people who are seeing this, it is very awkward. Avoid to practice this. All right. So let us look at today's content, starting with we have to cover up this introduction to economics, and then we start price theory, okay? So today I want us to look at something brief, which is micro and macro economics. Micro and macro economics. So when you're talking about micro economics, by the way, we call these two branches of economics. Branches of economics. Or these are the basis. These are the basics of our economics alongside price. Because the studies, either we study on micro or we study on macro economics. And therefore, that's why we are saying that these are the branches, the two ways in which we study economics. Whereby if you don't study the problems specific which are hindering an individual or a given firm, then you will have to study about a problem which is impeding the entire country, the entire community. So that's why I am saying that these are majorly two basic branches of economics, right? So when I'm looking at microeconomics, we say that is the study of, are you getting me? That's why I have paused a bit. Maybe let me first give it like this. I'll try to like this, that is a branch of economics that studies the problems that affect individual Are we together? Individual units of the economy. Individual units of the economy. We are calling it individual units because we are looking at one specific unit of a problem. And that one is observed from our branch called micro. My means one. This part here, my means what? One. Meaning that we are looking at a problem, which is affecting only and only one part, one section of an economy. One section of an economy. And the rest of the economy is clear. It is not affected. It has no problem. And it is because of that that we are saying that studies the problems. Among these problems, we have, for example, we have market, we have consumers, we have producers, we have price fluctuation. Price fluctuation, and therefore, when we are looking at market, this market may not be the entire country. It may be a market of a given product in a given area that has a problem. For instance, the problem may only be in Hoima. The problem may only be in Kimale district. The problem may only be around the Kampala, but when the rest of the country is very stable, Yes. Then, on the other hand, a problem may be affecting the consumers. But when the producers have no problem. So, it looks at a specific one individual unit of a given economy. It may only be looking at producers, and all may be also looking at price fluctuation. Why? The prices are changing over time. Why are the prices? What is causing the price to change over time? Over the time, what is the problem? Then that one may be in regard with this one and this one. Are we together? Okay. Now, besides that, we also have what we call macro economics. I have tried to end with these branches such that we can be reflecting back from what we have had so far, and this one will enable us to link us to the real ground of economics now. Then, so here when we talk about micro, just like where here I told you that micro means an individual, means one. Then macro here, MA itself is an indicator that it is more than one. More than one. And therefore, in this regard, what we are trying to mean that this is a branch of economics that studies the problems that affect the entire economy in a given period of what? Of time. In a given period of time. Now for this matter here, we are looking at a given zip, a given challenge, a given impediment, an obstacle that is affecting not only the producer, not only the consumer, or not even just the market, but entirely everyone is engulfed in this problem. In one way or the other, you cannot avoid it. Whether you are in Kotidol, whether you are in Karamoja, whether you are in Soroti, whether you are away, you are in the problem. So the problem is cross-cutting all the districts and the whole country is involved. That's why we said that it is not affecting an individual unit like the consumer producer. No, this time all of us, everyone, entirely the whole country, generally the whole country is involved in the problem. So what could those ones be that are really affecting the whole country? What could those ones be? Think around. Think around very fast. What problem that affects the entire country? Yes, I know you are good at thinking very fast. And thank you for that. Yes? Okay. She is telling us, you who is there, you are telling us that we have inflation. It is very true. And of recent, starting from around, it was around May, for the case of our Uganda here, the problem of fuel became fuel. The price for fuel became what? Price. Some people were almost letting now their machines down behind at home and using food personally. Moreover, with just a motorcycle which can take a liter, I had started leaving them and just walking. Walking, going where I'm going, coming from where? Yes, I could. Why? Because the liter, 1 liter of fuel reaching 8,000, from moreover just 4,000, doubling by 2. In some areas in the villages, we are consuming it at 10,000. Can you imagine? Just 1 liter, 1,000 meals, 10,000. Now, this problem was not only in Hoima, was not only in Kakumiro, was not only in Masindi, not in Kiboga, but everyone, everywhere in the country was busy complaining. And people were trying to plan on how they can start demonstrating. But of course, following our government, it came down and sensitized the people and informed the people that the problem was not self-made. It was not self-made in a way that it's not the government which has liked it to happen. It went further to explain to them that the wars outside Africa are causing such problems. Because you understand that Russia produces the biggest percentage of fuel world over. And we also import from such countries. And because of that, the price has escalated because the level of supply has reduced into these other countries like of ours. Okay? So, people understood and they had to go down. Yes. So, what is price? What is inflation? I have decided to first explain it, and then I ask you what inflation could be all about. We have understood that it affects everyone. Even at present, fuel hasn't stabilized. It is still a bit high, almost 6,000. It is still much compared to the former price. And therefore, what do you think inflation is? What do you think inflation is? Maybe for your information also, that when the prices increase of fuel, they increase almost everything. Because you cannot carry raw materials on trucks without fuel. You cannot use a border cyclists, motorcycles, or whichever car without fuel. So when the price for fuel increases, it increases the cost of production for most of the production ventures. And because of the sole motive of making profits by the producers, when they also produce the goods and all service, they also heighten the price higher to maximize what? Profits. Thus the price of every item going higher and higher. I think I have made inflation more. Okay, now can you define it? Inflation, yes, I have had someone defining it there, but because the voice is low, let me use mine, which is more louder. Inflation is the persistent, persistent persistent increase in the general price, in a given period of time. Is the persistent increase in the general price for goods and services in a given time period. Okay? So this one is one of the problems that macroeconomics studies about. Then the second one, of course, there are types of inflation that we may not look at the moment here, but when time comes, we shall look at inflation as a topic and try to neutralize any type of problem there. Then here we also have unemployment. Unemployment is a very big problem in the world. And when it comes to developing countries like African countries, Uganda inclusive, we are at a very big challenge. We are at a very big challenge. That's why most of the people, most of the youth are unemployed. And this unemployment is not only in a given region. It's not only in a given region, but all over different regions. So that's why we are saying that unemployment is also another category of example under macroeconomics, okay? So when you're talking about inflation and unemployment, those ones cut across regardless of where you belong. So we are finishing the first introductory part of ours, and then let us briefly look at normative and positive economics. Let us briefly look at normative and positive economics. This one here is too brief, and then we shall, when we finish it, we shall have to link to our price theory, which is the basis, which is another basic topic for economics, which we usually like starting with, okay? So when we talk about normative, let me start with one by one. Normative economics, and this marks the end. This is going to mark the end of our introduction today. Introduction from where we started from to date, and to take us just a very brief moment. So when you talk about normative economics, here we say that this deals with the world of economy as it is, as it should be, it is, and how it could be. So it depends on someone's opinion on how it should be, how it is, and how it could be. Those are the basic concepts or terms we look at. how it deals with how the world of economics should be, how it is, and how it could be. When you're saying how it should be, there we are trying to measure. We are trying to measure its nature of appearance. Is it, how in reality, how is our world of economy, how our country, how our society supposed to be? Is it supposed to be nice? Is it supposed to be poor? Is it supposed to be producing quality goods? Is it supposed to be producing poor quality goods and services? Is it supposed to be with a high level of unemployment? Is it supposed to be with high level of employment creation? In reality, how should it be? How should it be? Then we look at that condition and how it is. Present, how is it? We are trying to measure the life, I can say, the situation, how, if all other things were constant, how it should be, and how it is, and how it could be. For instance, I can say that, just using my area as an example, that Uganda would be, should be very wealthy. Uganda should be very wealthy, a wealthy country. But how is it now? I'm saying it could be, it should be a wealthy country because we have abundant resources which are not exploited. And now, by the virtue of the fact that it is not how it should be, now how is it? That we are not wealthy, we are poor. We are poor. But we have the resources, and therefore, since you are poor now, and you have the resources, and you know you are supposed to be wealthy, now, how could it be if you exploit the resources? That means it will grow into a more fantastic country, a more enjoyable country. So we look at three situations that we weigh one against the other. One against the other. We try to analyze each of them, and that one helps us. By the way, it becomes like a morale booster. A morale booster to each one of us on how to improve on the circumstance which is prevailing. Because we know we are not in a way we are supposed to be in. So you must not be poor, and you remain conversant and say, after all, I am poor. What else can I do? What else can I do? I am poor. I know I am. And you become comfortable with that poverty. No, you should not be comfortable, yet you have another challenge in your mind. That how could it be if I change this? Then you have to get means of how, you have to improvise means on how to change the prevailing, such that you can suit into what you should be. Understood? Okay. Now, with positive with the positive economics. With positive economics. This one here deals with the economy as it is, will be, and it was. As it is, it will be, and it was. We are saying it deals with the economy as it is, it will be, and all as it was. Deals with the economy as it is. It is, that one of course I forgot here. It is we are supposed to be looking at the current situation. How is our Uganda? How is our Nairobi? How is our Kenya? How is our Canada? How is our Russia, Ukraine? How is UK? How is Scotland? At present, how is it? How is it? You get that? You can analyze yourself. Think about it. You yourselves who are here, who are there, how are you now? How are you now? How are your people at home now? Currently, are you okay? Are you having any problem? Or you are problematic? Then taking each one of those forward, how will you be with the time to come? If you are okay, how do you think you will be with the time? That means you will be better. You will be better. Because life is prospering, is adding, is continuously, it is building on the current to the future. So if the current is poor, that means you must sort out yourself. You must sort out the current situation if you are to be better with the time. But if you are currently in a poor state, in a poverty-strained situation, and you are also lousing around, reckless about yourself, obviously you just have to believe that I am done. I will have to continue in this situation. I have no problem. You will remain poor, and poor if you have not got the solution for that. Yes. So, the current situation gives you the next step, how you will be with the time to come. That's why we always also struggle so much, because we know we are not where we are supposed to be, and you continue toiling, suffering, hard working here and there with an intention of being better with time. Is there any one of you who tend to say that with me I'm here now, very marvelous, I'm very okay, I have everything that I want, now let me relax and be badly off with the time? Are you there? You are okay now, and you say, let me with the time prepare to be badly off. If you are there, may God be with you. Hey, now what can I say? Because I know each one, even the rich ones, struggle to be much more richer with the time to come. Hey, now we are looking at how it will be. We have looked at that. This one here we are looking at it with the future. But again, how it was. Looking at economy, how it was. That is in the past. In the past, how it was. So, in our vernacular, with us here, we have our proverb. In the vernacular here, that we say, omukazi ataka kwihaga omunjara tomweta ngabona. Omukazi ataka kwihaga omunjara tomweta ngabona. What does it mean? It means that you want me to put the word on the board? Okay. I'm saying we have a saying that omukazi ataka kwihaga omunjara tomweta ngabona. End of the quotation. That is the proverb. In our Kinyoro here, Kinyoro language, Kinyoro culture. What does it mean? It means that omukazi means a wife. Ataka kwihaga, she who has never got you out of munjara means hunger and famine. Tomweta ngabona. Never call her a savior of your own. No. So, you must have had a history behind that person whom you are calling a savior. Am I deceiving? You must have had a profile, a positive profile of that person you are calling a savior. So you don't just get someone from along the street and say, oh, you are my savior, please. I have loved you so much. No, you must have a basis. So this one implies that for the person to have saved you, for a person to be called a hero to you, must have been a person who has helped you so much in the past. In other words, you relate the past to the current and the future. With us when we are young, by the way, even currently, our parents are used to telling us that those days during President Idi Amin Dada, we could line up from morning at 7 for salt up to 2 p.m. And even the salt they have brought ends up getting finished when you have not got any. And then you bamush, you walk away back home without anything. I'm trying to show you now the past. But currently, every shop in Uganda has salt. Every what? Every shop in Uganda has salt. And therefore, what do you think it will be with time? Every home will have salt. Every home will have salt. Because our level of income is expected to increase. So we shall be keeping salt at home. Are you getting the profile? Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I hope I have tried to make normative economics and positive economics at par. Okay? Now, that marks the end of our introduction to economics. From the time we met at first to the current time. And therefore, hereafter, allow me introduce to you a very fantastic topic which will take us through a bit long time to come. A long time to come. Yes, it is a wide, just as I used to tell you from the first time, topics which are short and with those which are long. So with this one here, we are going to start with price theory. Price theory. And this price theory is a very nice, very good topic, as you will enjoy it. Very good indeed. Yes. So always keep tuned in. Price theory. Yes. Now, here, first and foremost, we shall look at these markers. We shall look at price. And we shall start by looking at price by definition. What is price? Whenever you go to the market, whenever you intend to sell a given item, whenever you always ask, what is the price of this? What is the price of this? Now, I'm also now asking you what you always ask. What do we call price to be? That word you always ask yourself with the seller, with the buyer. You are selling the markers, and you are asking each marker, what is the price for each marker? Now me, I'm asking you, what is price? Not what is the price, but I'm asking you, what is price? What do we call price to be? Hey, you are used of the word price. Me, I'm asking you the definition of that word you usually ask. What is it? So, this time round, to minimize time, when I'm talking about price, price is the exchange value of a given good or service. A given good or service. You usually, as I have said, ask the price of this such that you can pay for it. You take it and you give cash, okay, to the seller. In other words, when you are buying this, you tend to touch the pocket. You pull out money to to pay for it. To pay for it. For instance, another example I want to show you. In other words, you pay the price equivalent to the value of this marker. If you pay a small price, that means that is the value of that commodity. When you pay a high value, a high price for it, you pay much money to exchange it, then that is the value of this marker. For instance, another instance is here. Allow me to pick this. Do you know this? What is this? What is this? Have you seen it? Have you identified what it is? This is food. This is food which has been packed, and we have bought it at a price. This food, for instance, was paid for, or I'm going to pay for it because I have brought it for you to see it and get to know what we call price. This food here, you are seeing. This food here, don't think we are lying. It is real what? Real food. Very nice. And it is because of being nice and its importance to a human being, I'm paying for it this amount. This what? Amount. This 10,000 note is for this food. I may not tell you what is inside exactly, but it is food. What kind of I will not talk about the chicken, about what is inside here. Let us leave that one. But I am paying this 10,000 note to the one who has brought this. I get the food. She takes the money. She takes the money. That means I am exchanging the food for a price, for money. So this is the exchange value of this food. And therefore, since it is the exchange value of this food, this is the price for this. Are we together? This price, this amount, is the exchange value for this. And therefore, this is the price for this. Are we together? Yes. Another item I can show you to describe this further is this phone here. This phone here. This phone was bought 500,000 Uganda shillings. And therefore, being bought that amount by those years, by 2020, that means by that time, 500,000 was the price for this. And it was the exchange value of this gadget. Are we at par? Of this gadget here. Of this gadget here. So, this time from today, when you are going to ask for what is the price, you must be knowing in your mind that even when you are making a noise over the bargaining for that item, you bargain when you know that the seller is imposing a given exchange value because of the value of that product. So you also bargain when you are also leaving something. Yeah? Hey, don't exploit. Okay, I think that we are at par and we have understood one another. Okay? All right, let us proceed. Let us proceed. My marker is where? Let us proceed. So we have some types of prices. But have you understood what price is? Maybe before we proceed to types of prices, let me also try to throw more light. We can as well define this price as that in another way that it is the amount of what? Is the price, is the amount of money, that try to define and measure the value of a given product or service. Are we at par? That try to define, we mean to identify and to weigh. And to, when I say to measure, is to weigh. How much can this one be? How much price, how much exchange value can this, meaning demand, the demand curve, as we shall always look at it with time to come, and why it is like that, and also the force of supply using the supply curve. Then these two forces, we have said they continue moving up and down, causing prices to fluctuate over time. But for this matter here, the equilibrium price is the one which is determined at a point where the two forces of supply and demand merge, all meet, all interact each other on this illustration. That point, which we may call the equilibrium what? The equilibrium price. And at that equilibrium price, we usually have at that price, which we can determine not as PE, PE meaning equilibrium price. And then at that price, we can have a given quantity that is determined at that point, which is called quantity E. Quantity E meaning equilibrium quantity, which is supplied and demanded at the equilibrium supply price and price at which demand occurs. Are we together? Now, what do we have to note under this? What we have to note importantly is that this equilibrium price means at that point E means that the quantity supplied is equivalent to the quantity demanded. So supply is the same as demand at that point. Supply is equal to demand. It also implies that whatever is supplied, it is demanded. Whatever is supplied is demanded. There is no wastage. There is no wastage. And demand goes when it is satisfied, not indicating that it was not limited. The quantities supplied were not limited. No. If we are 100 consumers or customers of particular products and they supply a given product and all of us get satisfied, we are all served and we are okay. That means supply has equated with the demand. There are some circumstances where we make parties. You prepare accordingly. You have 300 visitors. You have called all your friends, and you actually, with everything you have prepared is consumed fully to zero balance. That's when you should be very happy. Very happy. But also, there are instances, these ones are common in burials. Am I deceiving? You will bear me witness, you who is there. When you go to bury our friends who have crossed to heaven, usually find a problem of inadequate food. Inadequate food. It is real. That is the reality. Food in burial, it has never been enough. It has never been enough. In those funeral ceremonies, it has never been enough. Why? Because it is always in the short notice. It is always on the short notice. So whatever is always produced or supplied, it is always inadequate. And many people go when they have not eaten, when they have not drunk anything or taken anything. That means supply was lower than the demand, than the number of people. But again, on the other hand, where you make a party, you prepare for a party, you receive few visitors, they consume, get satisfied, and even leave a lot of food, a lot of eatables and drinks, that means you have wasted. You supplied beyond the level or the capacity, the consumable capacity. So it's you who will be at a loss. So from here, I call upon my friends who are here in class that when you are always preparing this kind of parties, celebrations, please prepare accordingly. Prepare accordingly. Hey, don't mess up by over supplying and you end with a loss. Be wise in the process. So we proceed to another category of price. Another category of price, which is reserve what? Reserve price. Reserve price. Any one of you who has come to see this concept? I know you must be there, but when you don't know what you have been seeing, now give me your ear. Reserve price is or refers to the minimum price below which a seller is not willing to sell his or her commodity. Can as well be a service. Yes. Is the minimum price below which a seller is not willing to sell his or her commodity. In other words, we can also call it that is the price, is the lowest price that a seller is the lowest price that a seller can allow to exchange his goods and all service. That is the lowest. What it implies is that assuming that, by the way, no need for us to assume, because I told you I brought this product for you to learn. for you to learn. The person I have sent there wanted to balance me out and said that when he brought it, said, I had tried to ask that person to sell it to me at 8,000, but the person refused, completely refused. I said, okay, now I don't have transport, take me border, take me back. Please, what can I do? The seller said, if it means walking, you foot and go where you are going. I'm not giving you balance. What I want is, I want my money, 10,000 Uganda shillings. What does it show? It shows that this person who went there, wanted to remain with some money. That when I give him, he comes back with a balance. But the seller was not interested in selling below 10,000. Meaning that the lowest price he could sell this food was 10,000. Below 10,000, he could not be able to sell the product. He could not allow to sell the product. Okay? Why? Because, do you remember the definition of price? The exchange value of a product. The seller was valuing this product, this food here, that price. And therefore, below that price, the value would be at a loss. Therefore, 10,000 was the lowest price a seller could accept to sell this kind of food. Agreed? So back in action. This marker here, when they were selling it at 500, but I think they are 1,000 now, that seller, even if you shed tears, can not sell it below 1,000 here in our region. Below 1,000, you cannot have it. Even if you shed crocodile what? Tears, you cannot get it. Because the seller will be at a loss. At a loss. This is 500 shillings when new. But even if you go dancing on top of the needle, that it is piercing me, please help me, I have 300 shillings, I have 400 Ugandan shillings, please give it to me. The seller will have to ignore you and will ask you, if you are to use other kind of papers, use those ones, but not the TP. Not the TP. Why? Because the value is 500 shillings. 500 shillings. Below it, you are not friends. Below that price, you are not friends. Yes. Okay. Each one of you has gone to the market, at least I believe, strongly believe. When you reach there, I know you like bargaining. But bargaining when you are also calculating, having that sense of humanity in the seller, putting yourselves into the shoes of the seller. If it was you, would you sell it at such a very low price? No. So you just bear with the situation. I'm saying at times, not always. So, is the lowest price that a seller can allow to sell or to change his goods and all service. Okay? So, I want you to mark this price here very well. reserve price because we are going to look to use it in other many ways.